Now people know what that looks and sounds like.
That was, and I get that fired up too.
That was very fired up. We'll end off by talking about the Super Bowl, so hang on to your thoughts on that. But very quickly, the Blackberry 10 came out this week, and that's been long awaited, and it's pretty different. It is a lot more like what the iPhone and the Samsung Galaxy are like. What do you guys think? Is anybody interested in getting the Blackberry 10? You're a Blackberry guy.
I am, and you know, as far as the shape goes, I think there's only so many ways you can shape a phone.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I figured that's probably what it was going to look like. I'm interested, just because, like you said, I'm a Blackberry guy, and I have been for a while. And I mean, yeah, I've been thinking about maybe getting the iPhone. I think the Samsung's too big for me personally. I just don't think it's something that I would want. So it's come down to those two. I'll be interested to kind of see what the reviews are like. I'm still locked in a nice little contract right now, so I'll have some time for it to work out whatever bugs it has. And then, you know, by the time I get a new phone, we'll see. I'm interested in it, though. I like some of the features that they've kind of said are on the phone. I heard that even though they're going to roll out a second version of it that will have the actual hard keyboard, that the one without the keyboard is the one to have. I already read that review that people are going to love this new Blackberry, which will be like a larger sized iPhone in a lot more ways. You're a techie. What do you think?
I am a techie. I do own an iPhone. I got multiple iPads in the home for my family. But what they're doing with this phone is it's not maybe revolutionary. It's not jumping over Apple, but it's definitely jumping to where we are right now with all the phones. And apparently the keyboard in the Z10, which is the keyboardless, is the best virtual keyboard that lots of people have played with, where not only does it finish the word with autocorrect, but it learns the kinds of phrases that you say and will finish an entire sentence for you based on your first couple of keystrokes in Word, and you just slide it up and it just sort of pops it in and whatnot. So
can you fit it so it's like, this is what you would say if I'm calling my mom, this is what you would say if I'm texting?
I'm not sure.
Oh, the language.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. But yeah, it looks interesting. I'm not sure if it's got enough resonance with sort of the younger demographic. And the last time that BlackBerry had a phone out in these retailers was probably 4 or 5 years ago. People were really interested. And the turnover of some of these places that sell phones is the hard part for RIM or BlackBerry, because they're renaming themselves, is to get these young people excited about BlackBerry when it's not really in their eye or in their mind. So that's a difficult one. But it looks good, and I think for BlackBerry people it'll be a good step up for the encryption, and especially for the business side of it. So seems interesting so far.
So is BlackBerry more for the older demographic?
It's more business. Not older, but more. It's meant to be slightly more business geared. Not even slightly more. It's meant to be more business geared. It always has been the business phone.
Well, and to that point, I mean, it has two different settings. You can have it for personal. You can have all your apps. Yes, and then you can have the work setting, which based on your company, it can give you whatever apps you need for your job and control how much access you have. So, I mean, it's hard to appeal to a 17, 18-year-old person with those kinds of settings, but
especially when they've all just purchased the new iPhone.
Yeah.
So that's, if you've just bought into that, I think there are going to be some people that will buy every new phone, but then there's those of us who got the new one and will be with the new one for another couple of years until the next new one comes out. The one thing I do like about the new BlackBerry is that you can multitask. You can whereas with the iPhone, you have to close your app, go into the new app. Well, you can multitask on the BlackBerry, which I think there's been times I've missed that on my iPhone.
It's apparently super fast too.
Yeah.
The part of the big draw to it is on the BlackBerry, everything is very fast, much faster than you would think it would be based on the current models out there. So that's something in its favor as well.
Cool. All right, quickly, we only have a couple minutes left before we have to get back to our desks. Super Bowl, who's going to win? Ravens, 49ers? Will you watch? Do you care? Answer any or all of the above.
Won't be watching.
Okay.
I do care. I think the 49ers will win, just because I think that just the offense that San Francisco plays, it's just something that I don't think Baltimore is prepared for. Even though in the playoffs they have stopped two prolific offenses already, I just think San Francisco, the way Colin Kaepernick runs the ball, runs that read option kind of offense, I think it's San Francisco.
You were saying something really cool off camera about a video game.
You'll have to be more specific, Kim.
I can't. I would like to if I could. I
Madden
would. I can't.
13.
I'm not a giant NFL fan, but I do enjoy video games. So the Madden series is something I've always played over time. But they did a simulation where they put the lineups that are going to be starting. They put the weather that they think it's going to be. They entered all the information into the game and sort of let it go. And San Francisco came out on top. So that's going to be my pick.
And you said
for
3
this
times
time
out of
too.
5?
Yeah, 3 times out of 5. A couple different websites, but yeah, that's the overall.
So when you say they did a simulation, like somebody sat and played it?
No, they just let the computer play. So they basically set everything up, put it to the computer is playing both teams, and just like let it go for 4 15-minute quarters, just like a real game, and then they just have a bunch of nerds sit around and watch it.
Why don't you do that instead of having men play
Instead of doing
and
actual football.
spending millions of dollars and building stupid
Seems like a good idea to
stadiums?
me. I'm not sure why they don't.
But how good do those robots look in tights?
I know. I just look at the bums, and then I'm going to watch the halftime show.
Those pants are like tights, and they do
I
not
know.
cover their
They
rear ends,
are.
but their jerseys, they
What
have
is
to
it?
tuck in. It's league rules.
That's a good
no,
point
no.
for the tights, because if they have a football team, it's going to make it difficult.
Bands,
for the
Especially in the
field.
Catholic.
Yeah.
Yo, all those Catholic football teams, they have to wear pants, slacks,
We've raised so many issues.
Relax.
Trousers.
trousers.
Oh my goodness.
But I want to see Beyonce.
Oh yes, of course, the halftime show. Will she lip sync?
No.
Portions to all of it.
Which is, I think
think
the
so.
criticism over her lip syncing at the inauguration was silly. Though it's the national anthem, Stacey Natcher sings it live at the Jets games every single night in, night out.
It. I think,
Beautifully.
bar none, the best.
Beyonce should have sung it live, but
Yeah.
even in inclement weather. But the criticism she took over lip syncing it was ridiculous. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
It's still her voice.
It's not Milli Vanilli. It's not like there's some white girl
like
singing it for
skipping.
reals and she's just
Yeah.
like.
I suppose it's the whole idea of trying to pass it off on people, right? It's
Yeah.
you try to make it look like it's live.
Pulling it
I think, especially in the situation like the Super Bowl, I'd rather hear her sing in tune and
Yeah.
sort of half lip sync. What do they call that? When you're half lip syncing.
Half lip sync, yeah, I think that's the
the
term.
half lip sync.
Yeah.
I'd rather hear the song on key in tune than because it's tough in a live situation in an open stadium like that. With
And then there's that delay too,
Yes, yeah.
which makes it really, really bad.
I'd rather hear a
Yeah.
nice version of the song.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. Hopefully, all her clothes stay on. No wardrobe malfunctions.
Yes, and
for
hopefully
yourself,
my
Kim.
Yeah, I was going to say
perspective.
defense, so yes.
Yeah.
No, good.
she might wear leggings if it's cold.
If you're looking for a place to watch the Super Bowl quickly as we wrap up here, there's obviously a number of different private house parties and whatnot, but as we had on the show last week, Svet's Pets, they're having a big charity fundraiser for Svet's Pets at Danny and Buck's Bar and Lounge over in the old
On
Who's
Ellis.
on Ellis,
Yes.
and $1.50 from every entree will go towards Svet's Pets, so help animals in our province and
Dogs
watch the
are so
Super Bowl, and there'll be alumni bombers there and current bombers there. It'll be a nice place to go and have a meal and watch the Super Bowl. So.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, well, Ty, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me again.
I have to ask you back one more time.
Oh my goodness.
I know, right?
exciting.
And now we're setting the scene. Our fans and viewers can
Yeah.
sit in breathless anticipation.
My mother-in-law literally cannot get enough, so you'd make her very happy.
So glad. All right, well, you guys have a good day, and we'll see you next week.
Take this change from my jug.
I'm not supporting your gambling habits.